It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from North Brewing Company and Field Recordings, and this is their A Hymn for the Fields Saison. It's in a 440 milliliter can, coming in at 8% ABV. Looks absolutely fantastic. Love the look of the can. And I've been scratching my head because I reviewed a Saison just the other day and it was 3.5% ABV. I'm scratching my head because I don't think I've ever had a Saison before at 8% ABV. Usually Saison, they generally come in between 3.5 and 5% ABV, kind of maybe 5.5. This is like a double Saison. Double Saison. So without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. We got a 2 to 3 finger white head. Good levels of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass, the middle of the glass as well. It's a lighter golden amber colour with a little bit of haze in there. And I'm just looking at the bottom of the glass here, seeing if there's any speckles of sediment in here. I don't think there is. Now, I really want to get all of this beer in. There's about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 an inch left in the bottom of the can. And I want to get it in because, yeah, it's just added a little bit more sediment to the beer. And I think that's vitally important to something like a Saison, where it's not an overly kind of yeast forward flavoured beer, but the yeast definitely offers something in terms of the flavour. So it's always good to get that sediment in your glass to really kind of get the full potential of a Saison. So it's still looking very good. It's probably knocked out a little bit of that carbonation, adding that yeast. Let's get the aroma. Oh, that smells super. Absolutely super. It's like citrus and limes. Citrus and limes, but with that fantastic, slightly spicy, farmhousey aroma too. Now, it's not often I can say this, but I've got a funny feeling that it smells soft. Now, I know this might sound strange to some people. It smells... So, in Yorkshire, they have this wonderful soft water. It's almost like you can smell the soft water in this. It smells pure. That might sound absolutely crazy. You can't smell water. There's no real aroma to water. But there's no kind of like Burtonization, I suppose, with this. You can tell if you have a beer from the Burton area, it's got that kind of slightly sulphury aroma to it. There's none of that here. It smells very clean. The aroma is very, very clean. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, I'm going to put that down. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows, what a beer. That is so juicy. So juicy with the hops that are added to the beer. Again, full on tangerine, lemon, a little bit of lime coming through. A spiciness, a pepperiness on the back end. The mouthfeel, because it's 8% ABV, the brewers had to put a little bit more malt in, which creates a lovely, creamy, rich mouthfeel. There is so much going for this beer. So much going for this beer. really good. It's really good. I mentioned it earlier. I don't think I've had a Saison before at 8% ABV. And this works. This definitely works. Ah, it's super drinkable. Super juicy and drinkable. And I've not even talked about the essence of Saison yet. I've not even talked about that kind of slight farmyard, horse blanket, spicy, peppery, hay bale taste that comes with Saison. It's terrific. Lovely, peppery spiciness. I'm just reading the back of the can, and it's like a light bulb moment. I look down at the can and my eyes, there's great big print, but I did a little bit of a daydream. I daydream a lot in life. I just did a little daydream moment there, and my eyes focused on Nelson Sauvin on the back of the can. So I missed the big print up there, daydreaming, and I got down to that bit there, hops and Nelson Sauvin. And that makes perfect sense. As soon as I read that, it was like a light bulb moment. You're picking up a white grape, like a white grapey, fruity, juicy hop coming through. I'm over the moon with this beer, I really am. Really am. It's really tasty. So Saison, I'm going to be really quick with this one. So the reason why they call it a hymn for the fields, well, it's quite funny actually. I mean, I've not read the back of the can, but I'm going to take a guesstimate at it. So the origins of Saison is that it was first brewed in Belgium and the French area of Europe. It wasn't Europe back then, I suppose. Was it? I don't know. Belgium, France. It was brewed by farmers, farm owners. They would make bread, they would make a little bit of cheese, they would make beer for their farm workers. So it would give them a little bit of so whilst they were working in the morning, the workers were looking forward to their lunch. They were doing a little bit more work, I suppose. That's the reason why we do these things in life. I scratch your back, you scratch mine, type of thing. They had something to look forward to. They knew at lunchtime, if they done their, I suppose if they didn't do their work, if they done a certain amount of work, they would get their bread, they would get a little bit of cheese, and they'd get a glass of beer brewed by the farm owner. And generally that beer was about 3 or 4%. So I think the reason why they called it a hymn for the fields here is because it's 8% ABV. And if you've got your farm workers coming off the land to have some lunch at your farm, and they're drinking an 8% ABV Saison, then all afternoon they're going to be singing hymns, aren't they? And I think, without reading the back of the can, I think that's why it's called a hymn for the field. Shall we take a look? I know I'll be singing after that glass of 8% beer. It's delicious. A dry and rounded beer, dry hop with Nelson Sauvin, Hallertau Blanc and a small addition of Talus in the whirlpool. We've co-pitched farmhouse Saison yeast and wine yeast nutrient to boost the vinous flavours. Bring a light tartness and a full body. The result is a beer-wine hybrid. Interesting. Light in stone fruit flavour with tones of grass, fresh vanilla and a clean mineral finish. The mineral finish, I wondered if that's what I was picking up in the nose. That kind of softness in the water. UK brewed and canned by Field Recordings at North Brewing Company, Taverners Walk, Leeds. This is a super example of a Saison. If you have an opportunity to pick this up, I would buy this beer. It's lovely. I'm going to rate it. I think that's super. For the Saison, it's up there with the best Saisons I've ever tried. It's a Stone the Crows, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.